Hey everybody, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch, and we're going to tell you the truth about the NBA playoffs this weekend and that boxing match, and I got my strong opinions about that fight. But first, the champs, the defending champs, are trying to hold off Sacramento Kings. Down 2-1, they made a stand, won that game big, won game three big. Game four, I knew the Kings were going to come back strong. They did. They had the lead. And then Curry just kept making plays to keep Golden State slightly ahead the whole game. And then it came down to the fourth quarter. And there was a key steal by Draymond Green, a key block by Draymond Green, a key block by Wiggins to keep Sacramento at bay. It was 124 to 119. This is where the craziness begins. De'Aaron Fox gets the shot blocked by Wiggins. Now, right here, there were a couple times Golden State could have made some winning, game-finishing plays, and they just made the mistake that killed them. And they get us. Kevon Looney steals the ball from Davion Mitchell. And they're going down. Klay Thompson's wide open for a three. Monk makes a great steal and throws the ball to Mitchell, wide open, down three. Uh-oh. Offensive foul on Looney. This is where and Fox has the ball, 2 minutes left. I said, oh, man, he's going to make the shot. He missed the shot. He rarely misses fourth quarter shots. So now Looney gets the rebound. They catch Sacramento flat-footed. And they caught him a couple of times where Draymond Green got the ball. He's open. He went downhill and was able to dish it to Wiggins or dish it to Looney. This time Looney missed the dunk. And they're going to pay for this. And Sabonis gets his shot blocked by Draymond Green. Now Wiggins makes a jumper. It's a 5-point game with 125 left. They're one stop away from winning this. Now, they get the stop. Malik Monk misses a running layup, which was defended really well by Wiggins and Draymond. They get the rebound, 42 seconds left, 5-point lead. You hold the ball. If you don't make the shot, you're going to run the shot clock down. Chances are they got to hoist a crazy three and foul you. You got good free throw shoots, you finish the game off. But Steph Curry makes a terrible mistake. They're out of timeouts. I'm saying to myself, they're going to make the technical and they're going to make a 3-pointer. They're going to bring them back in the game. And lo and behold, they did. Monk made the free throw. And then Fox makes the 3-point shot, and it's a 1-point game. And then Curry looked like he got fouled, but he missed the 16-point pull-up. And Harrison Barnes, 1 second left, misses and they were smart to put Draymond and Steph on Fox to take away his airspace where he couldn't shoot the three. So it's Barnes, and Barnes misses the three, and Golden State escaped. And Golden State they were sloppy. They played hard, but they were a little sloppy. And some of those sloppy moments could have cost them, but they just were able to fortunately survive, and the series is tied. My observations is Steph Curry was his usual outstanding self, 32 points. Klay Thompson was good. He had 26. Poole was good. He made some dumb turnovers, but he gave you 4 assists and 22. Wiggins is trying to round back into shape. He had 18. The most underrated guy on Golden State is Kevon Looney. You'll see 8 points with 14 rebounds, but game 3, he imposed his will with 17 rebounds, getting offensive rebounds, just doing the little things. He doesn't do too much. He'll cut to the basket and dunk. He'll defend the heck out of rim. What he does, which a lot of players don't do, he boxes out. He boxes out. So he's going to box out and get key rebounds that Golden State sometimes don't get. And he just keeps the offense rolling. And he did what he had to do. Draymond he had 12 points. He was 3 of 14. He 10 rebounds. His defense was good. His offense didn't play as good. I think going forward, he's got to give him 10 points in Sacramento. Or yeah. He's got to give him, he can't give him 3 or 14. You got to make a 3. You got to make a couple shots to keep him honest. You got to do what he did toward the end where he was driving. And then now the defense has to play him honest because what Coach Brown is doing, He's not guarding Looney or Draymond Green. So he's playing 5-on-3. But Looney is so smart, he'll do the little handoff, and Golden State has such great motion. You're constantly trying to defend, and you're switching, and they'll catch you in the back door, or they'll catch you leaving Curry or Thompson wide open. So Brown said, "Listen, we're gonna hawk the perimeter. So at times it lends yourself to get burned backdoor, and they got burned a few times backdoor, but Draymond's got to be a little more offensive because he definitely want to keep some. Even if it's like he has 7 assists, even if you're giving me 10 assists and 8 points, just the fact that he's a threat, I think will help them going in Sacramento. I'll tell you, Game 5 is going to be tight. I think I would favor Golden State if Sacramento would have got beat bad again. But the fact that they really got after Golden State and didn't care about the crowd and really played well, showed a poise for a bunch of young guys. I'm almost leaning toward them in Game 5. Game 7, you don't want it. I think Sacramento's probably got to win this to 6. They got to somehow go Golden State and win. Game 7, man, the champs. They've been there, done that. But they got to win. Sacramento's got to win Game 5. But I'll tell you Sacramento first to win Game 5. For Sacramento to win Game 5, they have to do what they did. Keegan Murray finally getting going was huge. 23 points from Murray, and he was 9 of 3, and he was 9 of 13 from the field. He was huge. Fox is going to give you 38. There's no stopping him. And Sabonis probably needs to give you a little more. Herter's going to be home. Herter's got to be that X factor that kind of gets you over the hump. He had 2 points. He's 1 of 4. And maybe Lyles has to give you more, but they just have to do a little more. And defensively, they got burned on the dribble drive. And I'm going to tell you something. Like I said, the most underrated dribble driver in the entire NBA, Steph Curry. You think about the threes he hits. He's terrific off the dribble. He goes behind the back. He's deceptive. He's very good at closing off with the little scoop shot that he does. He goes left. He goes right. He draws fouls. So that's going to be the issue. What Mike Brown's probably going to keep doing is listen. Let Draymond Green and Looney and whoever, Vincenzo, we're leaving them open. And they got to hope that Clay can miss and not shoot as well in Sacramento. And then we can focus all our attention on doubling Steph Curry at the end of games and making anybody else beat him. And if they get a little more, and you got fourth quarter Fox, and Fox missed a couple shots, he normally does it, but you get fourth quarter De'Aaron Fox, the best fourth quarter closer in the league, do what he does, and Monk play off each other, and Monk is ice cold under pressure, terrific under pressure. They got a great chance. For Golden State, they gotta bottle this defensive intensity up that they've had at home, and they got to be the champs. They got to play championship road defense. And Klay Thompson's got to be great along with Curry. Poole can't go half-cocked and get wild. But DiVincenzo and Gary Payton and Moody, they got to add more on the road. They got to have that because Golden State, what they want to do in the third quarter, if they're down 2 or if they're up 2, in that range, in that 2-4 point range, they feel like they can close the game out. Okay, you want me down 10 or 15, throwing the ball away, missing a bunch of free throws, being careless with the ball, and the Sacramento crowd going bonkers, and they're hitting shots and celebrating. You don't want that. You want it where the crowd is nervous. Like, here come the champs. They're happy, but they're nervous because they're thinking, man, if we lose this game, our season could be over. You want that. You don't want them comfortably ahead and they're beating you up, and now you got to pressurize game 6. But this is a terrific. That was a terrific game. This has been an intense series. I knew it was going to be good. All right, the Lakers, they won 111-110. They annihilated the Grizzlies. I mean, yeah, John Moran had 45 points and 22 in the fourth quarter. It was garbage time. It was 44-14 early. They came out smoking. They were fired up thanks to Dylan Brooks, his buffoonery and idiocy. He's saying, people say I'm a villain. I'm not a villain. You're not a villain. You're the village idiot. He's more of a village idiot than a villain. Because the villain, Draymond Green could be a villain. There's other guys to be a villain, but they win. This guy conducts himself like a loser. He was 3 of 13, and instead of like LeBron coming out going after him the stupid stuff he said about LeBron, the team responded. The team was like, "We got your back." AD had 31, Russell had 17. Was solid. Reeves has been great, and Hachimura has been really good in this series. He is really good. They're saying, well, we'll leave him open. You keep leaving him open, you can end up going home. So they were and their defense was fantastic. They beat up Memphis. Now, the one good sign is John Morant going into game 4, expect to be a closer game. They're going to have to figure out what to do with John Morant because LA, if they have any chance of winning this series, they got to win. They got to win game 4. They lose game 4, they're going to lose game 5, win game 6, and they're probably going to lose game 7. Ja will probably just go off. Even as sure as Memphis is, but LA they have a chance to beat Memphis. This is going to be a close execution in the fourth quarter game, I believe. And that does favor LA to a point where LeBron and AD will make the right plays. You got Ja, but Dylan Brooks, other than his mouth, he doesn't bring nothing. And because they don't have Kennard, they need Kennard to shoot a little better, but their bench is not doing anything because they don't have Adams and Clark. So they're very limited with your bench. And then Tyus Jones didn't give him nothing. I expect him to be better, though, in game 4. But, I mean, you're going to need Ja to get 50 this time? Bane has been solid. Bane and Ja, I know that. And Jerry Jackson got to do more than 13. So they're going to have to, Jerry Jackson going to have to neutralize Davis for them to win. It's that simple. If you don't, they're going to get beat. But this is the swing game. LA goes up 3-1. They probably get beaten game 5, and then that game 6 becomes a de facto game 7 because that'll be all for all the marbles. That's what LA has to do. If not, they're going to be hard pressed to go to Memphis. These are two close to evenly match up. I give LA a slight matchup in the talent because of Clark and Adams out. If they were in, I'd pick Memphis all the way. But LA has a slight edge. But Ja can cancel out, going crazy. But this time he's got to. If I'm Ja, I'm trying to look to go 34 and 11 assists because that means everybody is eating and you're eating, and you know you have a pretty good defense, and that put a lot of pressure on LeBron AD to have to make the same shots. And you know there's not going to be the same crazy intensity, but LA still has to find the wherewithal to still go and get that game 4 like Golden State did. Golden State came out crazy in game 3, but it was more of a closer game, and Golden State went and found a way to win. And the Lakers, for them to have any type of advancement in the playoffs, have to find a way to win this game 4. Now, the Phoenix Suns are up 3-1. I've been underwhelmed and not very impressed with the Suns the first 3 games. They barely got game 2 at home, which could have really messed them up down 0-1. Game 3 was just sloppy, and they were fortunate to not have Kawhi and Paul George. But Russell Westbrook was gone berserk. He's turned to Reggie Miller. He's turned to Kobe. He's doing things. He's showing poise. He's hitting shots. He's showing accuracy from outside that you rarely see. He's out of his mind right now, the way he's playing. 3 of 6 from 3, 37 points. But it wasn't enough because they can't stop Booker. Now, yeah, KD went off. I didn't like how KD played these 3 games. Just turning the ball over, playing kind of soft. And, man, played a lot better, played tougher, still made some turnovers, but 31 points, 6 assists, and 11 rebounds. Made a key pass to Craig, who hit a big shot to keep the game stabilized and help them win and go up 3-1. But Booker is killing them. Booker at 31 today. Booker's just been, he had 41 the other day. He's just, he's getting open looks. And they are that, I don't know what they do without, if Kawhi doesn't play game 5, Russell Westbrook's playing great defense. He's all over the place. I just would double KD and put Westbrook exclusively on Booker and hope for the best. And Chris Paul was very solid. I did not like how he played these. I like how he finished game 2. Did not like his overall series, the first 3 games. I really like how he looked like CP3 in that fourth quarter. I like those baskets and assists. He looked like the Chris Paul that I really have respected. And he had 9 assists, 19 points, and 3 of 6 from 3 was important because he hadn't hit threes, and he's normally good in the playoffs hitting threes. And Ayton, you know what Ayton is now? I think he's pretty soft, but the NBA's don't have the toughest centers. What they're doing, which I like what Monty Williams doing, he's good at that foul line jump shot. So I said, listen, when we're driving and they're double teaming, just set up at the foul line or the little push shot he makes, and he's effective. So he's giving the points, and that's big. So he knows his role. He knows he's not going to just go crazy on the inside, but he's going to give it. But he has rebounded. So they've tightened up the rebounds where Russell Westbrook's not turning into Dennis Rodman like he was the first 2 games. So they've done that. Now that they've won these games, the problem is I think Russell Westbrook goes back to his normal 3 of 17, 10 points, and like 10 turnovers if Kawhi is not there. And the Suns are going to close them. They're going to be, this will probably be their best game. They're going to be home, and they're going to look to finish. With Denver up 3-0, they're going to look to close out the Clippers. But going forward, they got to play better defense. And something I did notice, ever since the Achilles injury, Kevin Durant doesn't go to the basket. But what he does do, and this is what superstars do if they lose something going forward, getting a little older, not old, but getting a little older if they lose something. He's just totally found the mid-range spots. He'll find his mid-range spot. If you don't steal the ball from him as he raises up, you can't stop him at 7 feet. And he's very accurate, but he's very smart at finding the open man. And he's good at getting the mid-post, catching the ball, and shooting. So he's figured that out. But the Clippers did a good job of trying to take a lot of that away, making him drive, and then turning him over. Because he used to be able to drive from the top of the key and just slam it down like Dr. J before the injury. But now he doesn't do it as much. So the Clippers, Ty Lue played the tendencies of daring him to drive. I think they're going to have to do that if they have any chance. But I like the Suns. And they look like they got a little better defensively because they're all trying to build their chemistry. I just like the Suns moving forward to win this game. The Knicks are up 3-1. They are battle-tested. With the heartbreak of the Atlanta series a couple of years ago, they come back and they're up 3-1. They've learned from their ways. They just beat up Cleveland in game 3, and Cleveland was shell-shocked. Game 4, they came back. Garland had 13 points in the fourth quarter. Cleveland and the Knicks were going back and forth with the lead. And then they just the Knicks kind of took over. Hart was so good. Jason Hart is a godsend the Knicks have. His defense on Mitchell was big. RJ Barrett was fantastic. And you know what he did? I'm not making threes. I'm going to back. He just put his head down, went to the basket, dished it out, or made the shot. He was crafty inside. He was driving. He orchestrated them to have a 9-point lead. And then when Cleveland tried to come back, the Knicks made enough plays. Hart made a 14-point turnaround with the shot clock going down 2:29, and that really sealed the deal. And what I love about the Knicks is their front court is outplayed. I don't like Randall making 3-point shots, but Toppin is solid, and Hartenstein. Hartenstein was 8 rebounds, and Mitchell Robinson was 11 rebounds and 2 blocks, and Hartenstein had 2 blocks. They're rim protecting. They're playing big. They're playing bigger than Allen and Mobley, and that's a big difference. And the Knicks have, with Brunson was just, Brunson has a beautiful touch. And what he does with his mid-range, I watched him. He just puts such a feathery touch on his jump shot. He third quarter, he kind of took too many shots. He made the adjustment. He's able to let RJ take over, and then he hit the shots he needed. He hit a couple big cold-blooded 3-point shots. He's 5 of 9 from 3. And him and Hart, the Villanova connection, was fantastic. And Randall did not play in the fourth quarter. They had Toppin in there. I hope Randall was okay with that, because you got to just suck it up and go to the basket a little more, and I think you'll get in. But now, from a Cleveland standpoint, Garland was solid. He hadn't been good, but Garland was solid at 23, 13 in the third quarter. LeVert's been pretty good off the bench. Jalen Allen was okay. Mobley he's just that young guy. This is his first playoff. But going forward, Mobley's got to give me 20 points and 10 rebounds. He's got to give me a 20 and 10 in game 5. And he's got to be big, shot blocking. He's got to be – now listen, he had 2 shot blocks. He fouls out. He's got to be on the court. He's got to be a lot better. Donovan Mitchell was bad, 5 of 18. I know going to Cleveland game 5, it's going to be just fine. But he couldn't, because the bigs weren't really helping him out. And the Knicks, Hart played good defense. RJ Barrett played him good. But when they weren't playing him good, when he was getting around him, the help defense was fantastic. So that took a lot of his chances. But he has to, I think he settled for some threes. He was 0 for 4 from 3. He's got to be super aggressive. But Okoro didn't make any outside shots. Osman made 1 and Rubio didn't give him anything. So when they go to Cleveland, they got to get some bench points. And their bigs got to be strong in there. And they got to rim protect, because RJ Barrett's having a field day going to the basket. And I like his mentality. All right, my 3-point shot's not going there. And when he took some threes and didn't make them, but they were in the flow. So I was okay with the shots he took. But if he hits his 3, the Knicks could go very far. I don't know what's going on with the Miami-Milwaukee series. That's who they would play next if they were able to get out of the series, because both the teams are very injured. So the Knicks could make a run if they get past Cleveland. I expect Cleveland to win game 5. And now that's a de facto game 7. Rocking game 6 of the Garden. The Knicks have to finish them. I don't care if you got to go to overtime, whatever, come hell or high water. You got to walk out of the Garden getting ready for round 2. Because if not, then you're going to blow a 3-1 lead. You don't want that with the New York media. You don't want to do that. But Cleveland, the one good thing is, they're home for game 5. If they win game 6, they're home for game 7. Now, if you're on the road, you got to make a comeback that's different. But you're at home. So it's going to be harder for the Knicks to close them out. And then all the pressure's on the Knicks in game 6. So that's why this series is intriguing. I grouped the Celtics and Sixers together these last podcasts, because they're going to play each other. It's a foregone conclusion. These are almost scrimmages, preliminary rounds. Celtics won 121 to 112. Now, the Hawks did win game 3 to make it a gentleman's sweep. The Nets got swept by the Sixers. Now, took it to Hawks' credit. They kept coming. Young had 35. Murray was good. Capella was pretty decent. Hunter was really good keeping them in. They just kept coming. But Boston executed. Every time it got to 5 or got to 4, Tatum or Smart would drive the basket, or Smart would take advantage of Young's lapses on defense and would cut to the basket, or Tatum or Brown would hit a shot. Tatum hit a shot right over Murray in his face, tough defense, and made it. And they always had an answer to just keep it 8, keep it 10, keep it 5, but they never allowed the Hawks to even sniff a chance to win the game. And they executed their offense. Their execution of half-court offense is the reason they won the game. And Williams and Horford gave him good inside presence, 11 rebounds for Horford. And then Williams had 15 rebounds. That's 26 rebounds with your bigs. So there was Atlanta wasn't getting a lot of second chance points. They were solid on defense. They didn't foul a lot. They kept Murray from going crazy, so he didn't have the two-headed monster that the Hawks have. But they were great. Much credit to the Celtics, and they did what they have to do. Now they're going to finish them in Game 5. We're going to get ready for the Sixers and Celtics. The Sixers swept the Nets, and the Nets don't have a superstar. So when you could play good in the regular season, but as happy as the owner was of getting rid of all his headaches, are you ready for a 10 to 20 year drop off? I mean, you're going to get another star. You're going to get Damian Lillard. Hey, be careful what you wish for, because that could be a setback. It could hit your wallet when the fans don't come. And the Sixers did it without Embiid. That's smart. You didn't need Embiid to beat the Nets 96-88 because Tobias Harris and Harden. Well, Harden is not the 17 points, but Harden's 11 assists and his rebounds have been good. And he's just picked his spots. He's been solid. He's letting everybody else eat. I'm loving where the Sixers are right now. And Maxey, 16 points. Maxey's been really good. He is the third guy now. And this is the guy that you're going to need against the Boston Celtics, and that's one PJ Tucker, the best pickup in the offseason, because he helped the Bucks win. He helped Miami get all the way to the conference finals, and look at him now. And then Melton is giving you what you're supposed to get. I love it. I love this Sixers team. It's kind of this could be the year of the Philadelphia teams. Yeah, the Eagles lose, the Phillies loses the championship now. Could the Sixers get there and win it? I like the Sixers. I like the Sixers over Boston, but I am not that. They've never beaten. Embiid has never beaten Boston, and Smart has gotten the better of Embiid all the way through college. They had this little weird beef, but I got to figure the law averages. They got to win in Boston because I'm already eliminating Atlanta, and they got to be more solid. And Embiid's got to be healthy. You can't sit out game against Boston. You're going to get beat. And Embiid's got to go inside more. And Harden's probably got to score a little more. You're going to need your two stars to be very great, because then the others can do what they have to do. If they're not great, they don't have no chance against Boston, because Smart and Tatum are going to get you. And Williams is going to defend, and Horford. But Embiid still should be able to do what he has to do inside. If he doesn't go inside enough, they're going to get beat. I'm going to say Sixers at 6. But you're talking about the most unconfident prediction in the world. I just feel like the law averages are favoring the Sixers. It just feels like the way the city of Philadelphia has had good success. I'm going to ride that. And I believe they're going to, with Miami and Miami's up 2-1 on Milwaukee, but there's so many injuries. Oladipo, and then Giannis. I don't know if he's going to come back. Jimmy Butler I don't know if he's going to be out. It's hard to comment because that series up in the air because of injuries. But I like the Sixers to defeat whoever comes out of the other side of the bracket. Maybe it's the Knicks. If it's the Sixers, if the Knicks make a run or the Cavaliers come back and they make a run, they got no chance to beat the Sixers. But I mean, that would be a nice. It'd be if the Knicks got there and got beat up by the Sixers, they got to the conference finals. This has been a good season, but the Sixers is different. Sixers' mission is to get to the finals, and Doc Rivers wants to overcome some foibles and some of the failures he's had with the Clippers and failures he's had with this bad failures with the Sixers. And now I can exercise some demons this year. And I like how they swept the Nets. Last year, they were playing around with Toronto. This year, Killer Instinct is let me know they're not blowing you away. Like Harris is good, and some of the other players are good, but their defense is better. And if the superstars are super, that gives them a chance to get to the finals. Harden and Embiid, this is a referendum on both those guys. Can Embiid go inside on Boston? Can Harden shake those bad playoff demons and bad performances going up against a super mentally tough team like Boston? Can they do it? Can Maxey be the third guy they need? Man, Philadelphia and Boston has had some great series going all the way back to the 60s. This is going to be a really good one. That man you see on the screen is Anthony Edwards, and he was spectacular tonight. Minnesota stays off elimination. He's 34 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. And he played his game hard out. Minnesota won 114-108. It was a great game. And Minnesota was in full control. They kind of melted down almost like last year against the Grizzlies. Because when Edwards hits a 3-point, hits a step back shot, 96-84 up 12. Jokic hits a 3. Porter hits a 3. Porter hits a 3. Jokic hits a shot. Oh, boy. Now it's a 1-point game. And then Karl Towns, it's a bad foul against Joker. If Joker makes these 2, they're up, and they probably win the game. He misses a key free throw, which was costly. And he gets 1. And then Edwards gets the ball stolen. Go to overtime. And then OT, there was Alexander Walker hits 2 big threes. And one to put him a 5. And then here comes Denver coming right back. They cut it to 1 with 11 seconds left. And they cut the lead to 1. And with a chance to win the game on the line, 109, 106, and Edwards hits a cold blood with 11 seconds left, a cold blood 3-point shot to put him up 112-106. And he shows that he's at 21 years old, he's a young superstar. Alexander is from OKC, and Fox is, and those are 3 young superstars. They haven't developed up to super duper stars like the season stars, but these are young superstars. And now they get to play another game. I expect, like if Kawhi Leonard's playing, I'm giving the Clippers a very good chance of beating the Suns. If he's not playing, the Suns have a better chance of closing out the Clippers in Denver. Denver should close out the Timberwolves, but they had Joker's got to make those free throws. You gave him life. Now, they're not going to win the series, but what if – because Minnesota should have won game 2, so they're not afraid to go to Denver. And Karl Towns didn't go crazy. What if Karl Towns goes off, hits a couple threes, gives a couple drives, and Edwards goes off like he's going to, and Conley, who hits some big shots, does what he does, and Alexander does what he does, and Gobert rim protects and get his shots, and you're playing well, and all of a sudden you steal a game in Denver, and you're going back to Minnesota. You're playing around. Even if you win in 7, which I think Denver's going to win in 5, but what if they lose and then it goes 6, then it goes 7? If you win that series, you're worn out going into the next series. So I'm curious to see if the Suns and Denver take care of business and get the rest, like the Durants and the Jokers, who are a little older, need their rest, and Chris Paul and those guys get rested up. And I do believe we're headed for Denver Phoenix, which is going to be a great series, but they both have to take care of business. All right, let's talk about this fight. Tank Davis knocks out Ryan Garcia in the 7th round. I didn't hype the fight up. I didn't talk about it because the fight should have never took place. Ryan Garcia was not ready to fight. He didn't fight any preliminary fights. He wasn't battle tested. You're fighting Tank Davis, right now the pound for pound best fighter in the world. Forget all the political correct nonsense. This is the actual truth. This is why I call my show Tell the Truth Radio. It's the truth. It's the truth. He is the best right now because he went through the gauntlet of fighters. He went through all the contenders and wiped them all out. And he was battle tested. You should have had him out there. If you really thought he was this special, should have had him out there against Isaac Cruz. Turned that fight down. Didn't have any preliminaries. And he hadn't fought in years. You're going to put him in the ring against Tank Davis. That is your promoter doing you a disservice. They all got paid. So Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy, they all got paid. So he gets knocked out and they still get their money. But now you could always bounce back from a loss. All the great ones have. But to not be ready, get on that big stage, get exposed. He was much taller than Tank Davis, but it didn't matter because he figured he'd go in there and do what he did on Instagram and do what he did in his practice time, throwing shots and hitting the body bag. And he's throwing that left hook and he's missing. He's throwing that left hook and he's missing. He's throwing that left hook, he's missing. He landed a couple of rights. Tank didn't care. And Tank was very composed. I watch him in the press conference. He's been there. Ryan Garcia hasn't been there. You look in the ring generalship, it was all Tank. He just sat there. I'm going to pick my spots. I'm going to pop him. Ryan didn't use a jab because Ryan is thinking I'm going to knock him out with my hook. So Tank is jabbing him to the body, just continuing. He popped him in the 2nd round, put him on the canvas. Tank, see, I call fighters predators, bangers, and great boxers. Tank is a predator that can really box, but he's not like your normal predator. Tank is like a crocodile. It looks like he's going really slow in the water. You know, it looks kind of friendly in there. Then all of a sudden he pounces on you, grabs you, and then he does the death roll and he eats you. That's Tank. You know, he's kind of popping a jab. He'll throw the occasional left, throw the right, he'll throw the shot to the body. You know, okay, everything's going on. Then bam, you're on the ground or you're out. Or bam, body shot, and the fight's over. He's just an unusual he's an unusual fighter from the standpoint that he is a predator and he's a knockout artist, but he's so good at setting you up. And it's the art of setting you up. And he was going to do that with Ryan Garcia. And there's nothing that Joe Goose and his trainer could do because he wasn't ready. There's no instructions that's going to help him be ready when you have no experience. And they put him on Instagram and they say, okay, he's an Instagram star. We're going to sell this. And boxing, that's the issue I got. They sell certain guys, but they won't sell the main fight. I want to see Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis, or the winner of Teofimo Lopez and Josh. Oh man, what is his name? He's a champ. And they're going to fight each other. And they're either that, if he moves up, or just fight Shakur, Devin Haney, and Lomachenko. Lomachenko will never fight him. If he beat Devin Haney, he'll play keep away. He'll do what Tyson Fury's doing and play keep away. You won't see him, and he'll fight B contenders because he'll at least have this one big fight. Now he could fight B and C contenders, and he'll still get credit for it. That's another issue of boxing. But if Haney wins, it looks like Haney and Tank might fight, which is good. I believe Spence and Crawford are going to be on the 17th, I hope. I'm gonna try to get to that press conference if it's possible. But Tank is the man. Tank is he's showing his greatness. He's in his prime. And all Golden Boy did was help Tank out. Put money in his account, gave him a nice, easy fight. They hyped it up so he could get even more credit. And once again, Floyd Mayweather's guys, and Floyd Mayweather always beats De La Hoya. De La Hoya is the Washington Generals, and Floyd Mayweather is the Harlem Globetrotters.